My name is Torrefranca, and I'm the author of the young adult novel Capsule. Today I'm doing something a little bit different than usual. I'm going to be sharing my 5 tips to building your personal brand as an author. This is really important. I don't think I even need to explain it because you've probably heard it a million times before, but whether you are a traditionally published author or a self-published author, it is crucial to build an online following. So let's get into the tips. Tip number 1, and I call this number 1 because I personally believe it is the easiest but also the most important thing to do, and that is to be more than just an author. The reason why is because there are a ton of authors online who are trying to promote their books. Guess what the type of stuff they're posting is? It's all books. It's all writing content, reading content. And sure, this is good. It's always good to have a niche, to focus in on something. It helps you grow online. But at the same time, a lot of times people buy the book not because of the blurb, not because it has good reviews necessarily, although that does happen, but mainly because they know the author and they like the author. So really the trick is getting people to know more about you, not necessarily more about your book. One of the easiest ways that you can stand out from other authors who are only posting about their books is to talk about things that aren't books. Talk about you. Share more about your life besides books. Readers want to know what you're doing when you're not writing, what you're doing when you're not reading. They want to know what type of person you are, really. Now, let me give you an actual example of this so that it doesn't sound like I'm just making this up. Let's take the YouTube channel Exerbia. Exerbia is this channel with a lot of deep philosophical content, the type of stuff that would give you an existential crisis at night. A lot of these videos have gone viral. It's a good channel, I love it. And Exerbia also writes books. And if you go on Amazon, they are all very successful. And guess what? His YouTube channel is not really about books. Once in a while, he posts a video announcing one of his books. For example, take this one.
Hi, I wrote a new book and I hope you hate it. And it's out now and it's new and I hope you hate it. It's called Geometry for Ocelots.
This is just a 2-minute video that he posted among his sea of other videos. And yet his books on Amazon are very, very successful. And if you scroll through his Amazon reviews, you'll find a lot of reviews saying that people ordered the book because they came from his YouTube channel. So even though his YouTube channel is not necessarily even about books, people like him so much that they buy his books. All right, let's move on to tip number 2, which is also very important, and it is to have confidence in your work. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen authors online say stuff like, you are going to love this book, this is going to be your new favorite book, you will not regret buying this. And at first I was like, why are they saying that? Like, that's so overconfident and like, oh, I'm scared that people are gonna think I'm conceited if I say stuff like that. But now I actually get it. It can definitely be overdone, in my opinion, but I understand why people are saying stuff like that. Because if you don't appear to be confident in your work, why the heck would anyone buy it? If you come across as like not believing in your own stuff, they're not going to risk their money in you. Readers are customers, so when you are trying to pitch your product to them, you have to make the product seem really, really good. Seem like something that they actually need in their lives, that they really, really want. You have to frame it in the right way. Because if you release a book and you're just like, I'm really nervous about it, this is my first book, why would anyone buy your book? I'm sorry, but you have to be confident in your work. Moving on to tip number 3, which is to respect people's opinions. Really, when it comes to books, there are so many different interpretations and so many different opinions people are going to have about your book. There are times when people are going to completely misunderstand what you're trying to say in your book. They're going to misinterpret things. They're going to think that your message is something that it isn't. And it's really important that in those situations, you don't try to explain yourself or make it clear of like what the message actually was trying to be. Like, for example, if someone were to post a review on Instagram of your book with like a picture of your book or whatever, and they have this long post and there's just so many things that you notice in it that just seem wrong, and it's like, oh, I could just explain it to them, I could tell them how the book is actually supposed to be. Please do not comment on it with a long essay of everything that they've said wrong about your book. Just thank them for reading and go. That's all you have to do. There's really no point to commenting and trying to correct people's opinions of your work. Especially do not do this on Goodreads reviews. You can thank people individually if they left a nice review, but publicly on that page is just really not a good idea. Consider yourself a bystander. Any feedback that you receive after your book is published, just let it be, let it rest, and don't try to fight it. My 4th tip is to interact with people. Start discussions, especially on social media. I realized the other day, actually, this was pretty recent discovery of mine, but sometimes people have a lot more to say than you think they do about your book. Like, let's say you have 50 people who have all read your book, they've all reviewed it, and you're like, okay, they've said everything that they have to say, it's over. Whatever they wanted to say, they've said, but that's not always true. I actually did a poll on Instagram about a month ago asking people if they shipped anyone in my book. And I wasn't expecting to get so many responses. There were some like ship wars going on. It was just very unexpected. These were all discussions that would have never started had I not initiated that conversation. So don't be afraid to ask some questions and reach out and just start discussion about your book. And the worst thing that could possibly happen is that nobody says anything. That's it. You have so much more to gain by just stepping up and asking that question. And our last and final tip is from Sarah Sutton.
Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Sutton and I'm an indie author of 5 young adult books. I'm also a YouTuber here on AuthorTube, and I post writing related videos or writing vlogs twice a week. One of my top things about building and growing an audience on social media is to make sure you are always personal and open with your audience. The cool thing about social media is that people can connect with people all over the world, but they want to connect with people who are easily connectable, you know what I mean? When you share more of your life, you're drawing in that interest for people to say, okay, I want to come know this person a little bit more. Because when somebody feels like they can connect to you, that means they are more likely to reach out, to leave comments, to interact, and you can build friendships from there. Since building my Instagram platform and my YouTube platform, I have made so many awesome friends in this community, all because I feel like I try to really maintain that openness in myself and everything that I post. I post the good, the bad, the ugly days, you know, and I think there's something really important about being transparent like that. You don't have to share every single bad thing, but letting the audience know that you're human, you have bad days is really awesome. The bugs outside are being very annoying. And it makes you seem more like a person than a robot on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you can post your perfect pictures all the time, but when you start to build that perfect mentality, people might not be able to connect with you as easily as when you show some flaws, show some bad days. They'll be like, oh, I've had a bad day too, let's bond over that. So my tip for you is to just be as open and honest as possible. Show those bad days, show those good days, pour your life into your captions and into your content, and start building connections that way. Now let's head back over to Mel.
If you're interested in learning more about Sarah, I highly recommend you check out her YouTube channel. I'll have a link in the description below where she has a ton of fun author content. Also, this is a collaboration, so a video is going up on her channel about how she's able to write books quickly and efficiently, and I will be making a short appearance in that video as well. I'll be talking about my word vomit strategy, which is the strategy that I've used to write the first drafts of both Leaving Wishville, Capsule, and the first book of a trilogy that I'm working on right now. So I've used this strategy a lot, it's what works for me, and if you're interested in learning more, I recommend you check out that video. I will link it up there and down there. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it's been helpful. And if you have anything that you would like to add, please don't hesitate to share in the comments below. It helps any other authors out there who are scrolling for some extra information. But that's about all. So thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.